Our top story this morning, two retailers, Target and Macy, staying cautious a bit on the consumer as the consumer remains strained. Target shares are soaring on better than expected results. It's a welcomed improvement after last quarter's warnings about inflation-battered shoppers. You're looking at gains of just about 16% in the pre-market. But once you dig into the numbers, there are some signs that the consumer is showing some cracks. The shoppers are spending, but they're still hunting for value. And then we've got Macy's. It's another quarter of declining sales, and that's sending shares lower here this morning. That's off nearly 10%. In the earnings release, CEO Tony Spring calling the results, quote, strong in a, quote, challenging consumer environment. Here to discuss, we have our very own Yahoo Finance executive editor, Brian Sazi, along with our senior reporter, Brooke DePalma. And guys, lots to get into here when it comes to these retailers and exactly what it tells us about the consumer. But Saz, would love to hear your biggest takeaways on Target.
I'm inflation battered. I paid like through an arm and a leg for like air fresheners at Target a couple weeks ago. We'll take that offline. It's just really a lot to unpack there. But anyway, the shares of Target, top ticker on Yahoo Finance this morning, as the team mentioned here. And this quarter did make sense. Let me tick through a couple of reasons why or what I saw in this report. I think the consumer was choosy in these latest results from Target. Sales did improve sequentially. Target's traffic did increase. The company cut prices or started to cut prices in May on 5,000 daily essentials like meat and bread and milk. Consumer responding to that, CEO Brian Cornell telling me. And then also number two here, again, like I mentioned, lowering prices and discounts are helping. Now, Cornell did not say if he was going to take those price cuts down even more or expand them in the coming quarters. I put that question to him, TBD, as they would say. And last but not least, this report might be the first indication the holiday season, which of course will come up against right around the presidential election, may not be a disaster. Now, Target did not comment or discuss how back to school has started, but we have gotten some indications for some retailers that the back to school shopping season has started off good. We heard that from Walmart. Has it started off gangbusters? No. But I think you'll see some more upbeat commentary on the back to school front. From the likes of specialty apparel retailers like an Abercrombie & Fitch when they report in the next 2 weeks. And then you can start thinking about the holidays may not be that bad.
All right. And we're also tracking here, of course, as we're watching shares of Target, we're watching shares of Macy's here this morning. Ticker symbol M. Brooke is looking into this one. What are you seeing there?
A little bit of a different story, but the same trend that we're seeing overall is that consumer discretionary spending is still under pressure. That's what Macy's CFO told Yahoo Finance this morning. We did see softer sales that even Macy's expected in the quarter was down 4%. And what they're saying is that luxury consumers are not immune to this trend. Their luxury business, Bloomingdale's, saw same-store sales growth drop 1.1%. CFO Adrian Mitchell telling us that the reality is that a luxury consumer has the dollars to spend, but they're not immune to being discerning about how they're thinking about spending. And this is a bigger story. Department stores are really struggling to move forward into the future as the rise of, say, Walmart's marketplace and Amazon are really on the table here. We did hear from them that their first 50 stores where they're really investing in digital, they're investing in checkout technology. They're putting more handbags and purses and shoes. They seem to be doing okay. Same-store sales for those first 50 stores where they invested are up 0.8%. The CFO telling us that attraction is very clear. And that traffic and conversion, these first 50 stores, gives it the confidence to expand a new assortment of handbags and shoes to another additional store, another 100 additional stores this fall. But on the back, this comes after Macy's decided against a buyout offer of $6.9 billion. They ended talks with Arkhouse Management earlier this summer. They believe that with this bold new chapter strategy they have in place, it will then bring them above the premium value that Arkhouse did offer earlier this year.
And I also wonder just in terms of, and it's still early, we still have to hear from a lot of retailers this season, but when it comes to the have and have-nots with the consumer, when it comes to the fact that they are pulling back on spending, I'm wondering if this environment is going to make the gap between the winners and losers even wider. When you talk about those that are working, clearly taking a look at Walmart with it at record high levels versus those that have been struggling for so long. Macy's one of those names, and a handful of other department stores that can't really turn it around.
Yeah, an easy comparison could be this. So we heard from Walmart last week. They had strength in apparel. Mm-hmm. Target saw a comeback quarter in apparel, strong area. Where could this business be coming from? The likes of a JCPenney, maybe a Macy's. Could you see a strong results out of a TJ Maxx because consumers are looking for deals? Maybe Ross stores? Yes, absolutely. So that's point number one. Point number two, and really the story of the morning, it goes to Brooke. The story is blowing up on yahoofinance.com right now. The theft.
Yeah.
It looks like inventory shrinkage or theft inside of Target stores has now peaked, and that is the Target executives telling us that trend might get better. That could be a big thing. So I think that's something all investors need to watch, because if theft is starting to decline in stores, maybe as prices start to come down, consumers are feeling okay, they don't need to lift a pair or just try to leave a store with a free pair of razors or whatever it is. That could be pretty good or profit tailwind to many big retailers.
In New York City, I'm Brad Smith alongside
Go right
Shauna
ahead,
Smith.
Hakeem.
Yeah, so yeah, shout out to Next Level who's in here. Next Level, we see you. Shout out to DJ Triumph, we see you. Oh, your half brothers here, King. Shout out to
Diary of a
man.
What's good, bro?
Yeah. Shout out to Muhammad, he's in the building. And shout out to Genesis, I think we got earlier as well. But yeah, Hakeem, you see a lot of these retailers, they're closing down and everything. So I want to know from you, Hakeem, where are you spending your money at?
So listen, a lot of my money gets spent online, and let's be honest about it. With the advent of the internet, things are changing. I remember used to going to the Omni in 163rd Mall. You feel me? That's not anymore. You know what I mean? Everything you get is online. I buy sneakers. I buy everything online. So this was coming. We just need to embrace the future. And that's it. And this is why it's kind of futile for anybody to start a business and want to do a brick and mortar business. It doesn't even work no more. It's the same way where you see a lot of restaurants are converting into food trucks.
No, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing to say because I'm just thinking about it now. I'm like, do we really want to get rid of these shopping malls like Macy's, JCPenney's, on Sears, and all these other type of businesses where they used to have heavy foot traffic? And I think no, because pretty soon you don't want everybody always staying at home and ordering stuff from online. You want people to at least try to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to the aspect of Macy's, the only reason why they so much in the decline, think about how King. We live in Miami. Jordan no longer live in Miami. When's the last time you found a Macy's store? You got to go way out, like to Gayland Mall, Aventura, Miami Beach. It's not accessible. Target now, they building another Target right now in downtown Miami. Target got one in Midtown. Target is becoming like Walmart. It's going to be one on every corner.
Yep.
So it's growing as a business. That's why their stock share is growing. Because they starting to say, you know what? How can we make it accessible for people can go and grab? I mean, not only that, Macy's prices is out of control too when it comes to certain things like cologne, perfume. When it comes to polo shirts, the same polo shirt they have at Macy's, you go over there and get it at Ross for cheaper deal, or Marshalls. Like Macy's have to do better when it comes to their prices, and I get it because there was always known to be like a high end store when it comes to fashion. But that's making them lose a lot of value. And people say, you know what? I don't need to go there. Let me go to Amazon because Amazon now are doing deals when it comes to like certain things. So if they want to keep up with the trend and don't go out of business, because it seemed like they're going out of business. It seemed like they was upset. They was up. No, like they was up. Like remember, they was like their share was like $17 a share. Now it's like 15, and it's on the decline. So they need to get it together. Now they're gonna go out of business. I don't see them surviving to the next. I don't see them surviving for another 2 years. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, when it comes to these companies, they're still, doing well when it comes to sales. Costco, Target, as you say, Ronnie, and also Walmart. Shout out to their marketing team. They look at future projections and future sales, and also they also look at the next generation of what the next generation is doing, and they figure out, okay, how can we keep our prices kind of cheap in a way, and also keep the foot traffic coming into our stores and everything. When it comes to Macy's, they have not been doing that. I think with Macy's, and this is the problem with Macy's, their main focus is to get the Macy's credit cards. That's because I remember going for an interview there one time. I think it was like 3, 4, 5 years ago. Where I was looking for a second job, and I remember I was doing an interview, and they were saying their main source of kind of their income is putting out credit cards, and that's the problem right there, and that's why one of the reasons they're struggling and everything. And Macy's, you know, they're not smart enough to say, hey, you know, how can we bring foot traffic and everything? How can we, you know, control ourselves a little bit and everything? You know, how can we still compete and keep our stores open? And one idea they did, but it kind of, you know, the idea didn't work. They brought Toys R Us in certain Macy's stores to put in their Macy's stores, and that was a flop because we're not hearing anything from that, you know, hearing anything from that. So it had an idea about putting Toys R Us into Macy's, and that's a major flop. So I don't know what's going on with their CEO and everything, but and then, like I said, I agree with you, Ronnie. You know, they're not gonna be here in the next 3 or 4 years. You know, they're still, like I said, out here in LA. There's only one Macy's that's like here in a 20, 35, 30 mile radius, and that's one right by me. It's one downtown. There used to be one in Crenshaw. They closed that off. I told you about that, Ronnie. When Ronnie was here in LA, there was a Crenshaw. There was a Macy's Crenshaw. They shut that down, and also shutting out Macy's up in the Valley as well. So right now in my radius, it's probably only maybe 2 or 3 Macy's in the maybe in a 100 mile radius here and
You see,
everything.
too far.
So everything's too far and everything. So I don't know what Macy's doing, but you know, to me, I don't know. Did it file bankruptcy already?
I don't think so.
I don't
They
think
would
so.
announce it.
But like I said, by next year they will, and Macy's will not survive. And like I said, if I was Macy, I could get somebody from Target's team or Costco's team or Walmart's team, pay them double than what they did, what Target or Walmart does, and say, hey man, how can we get our sales up, you know, and everything? Because if we don't, you know, Macy's gonna be out of the market for good.
No, well, go ahead, read Genesis.